I think the past 2 weeks have been very stressful for most of us, and that probably affected our performances. And I don't think we were playing like ourselves, and we were just those nerves, it was really rough. So I think for the future matches on stage, it should be very exciting. Playing on stage again I'm very looking forward to it. And I feel like since we played our worst games, like the recent weeks, we can't play, worse than that, because I think that's probably like our lowest standard. So we're gonna show up strong and look to dominate.
Harry's thoughts before coming into this match, thinking that their worst games were behind them, but they just got the Insanity treatment in game number 3. Sol, we were hyping up Insanity all day, saying this was the guy to watch, and he delivered today.
Yeah, I mean, his LeBlanc performance was really impressive. I mean, so looking at the draft perspective, I mean, when I saw like the LeBlanc pick, I knew like there was no one really on TL's team that could really deal with the pick, and especially because he got like the first couple kills, and I think he got both kills on Bradley in the early game, so he was really able to snowball the lead, and yeah, he just dominated the entire game.
It relates right back to what we had said in our last segment, where we were saying, look, Insanity hadn't been playing poorly so far in the first 2 games. He just wasn't ahead. He wasn't accelerating. Like, he wasn't given the tools to carry. But on the block, with the first 2 kills, Surdy, he definitely carried.
Yeah, not only that, but exactly like I said, my prediction for this series was 3-1.
Yep.
I also predicted that the way that they would lose is Bradley would pick Akali into a tank and be useless.
He did do this.
And this is what happened. So this is the one loss out of the way. I think that TL are going to put Bradley either on an Olaf, something that can match the tank and be useful later on if he feels like playing a carry, or match the tank. And as long as they have that stable front line, I'm confident they'll win game 4.
It's literally going according to your script right now. So congratulations, Surdy. Apparently you're just a prophet on the broadcast right now. But let's see if you can also break down the player perspective in the game itself, because we have another segment that we like to call Armchair Analyst. But this time, instead of coaches doing it like we've had before, we actually have 2 players to walk us through the pro view of these players in these key pivotal moments and kind of break down from the perspective of a player what's going through your head, what you're tracking and looking at. So, Surdy, you're up first. We're going to take a look at a big team fight where Neo, actually, I'll have you stand on this side over here, Surdy, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I'll be in control of the time. So you can just hang out. You're coming
all right,
next. I got you after this one. So this is a big setup for the Baron fight. Both teams were posturing for this objective.
Yes,
and we're going to follow Neo's perspective here on the Callista, because he had a very strong team fight. So Surdy, walking through what he's
If I remember correctly, just before this moment, the LeBlanc was picked on the top side. Bradley goes in here, and they're just fishing for vision, seeing if they can pick something off from Bradley before they get back around the other side, so that it's not an uneven fight. They catch out the Akali, pop the Renata W, and begin kiting back with the Callista as Perry disengages, then sends out ults. At this point, the fight looks completely doomed, but Neo sees an angle. He goes forward. He jumps over the wall to create distance between him and the carries as Nautilus knocks him up with the Callista R. Goes back in, dodging the Swain E, and I'm pretty sure if he keeps going here, he can kill the Swain as well, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's looking likely, but the thing that I want to highlight mostly there is just how long he holds his ult for in the fight.
Yep.
He waits for a very long time. JJ's out of vision, and I don't think that they saw JJ. Like,
I don't think they did.
I mean, maybe if they were paying attention over here, but like, that could have kind of thrown them off guard, because they were all clumped up, and then a Nautilus just flies in, and Neo's able to pop off.
I mean, Neo is known for his Callista. Callista is his best champ. This is what people know him for. And you can see that in his discipline, jumping forward here, dodging the Swainy, and then re-engaging in that moment. Most Callista players would have just gone forward into the Zarya because they see a kill, get hit by the Swainy, and possibly die.
Yeah.
But he has a lot of patience, a lot of control over his jumps that a lot of rookie Callistas won't have. And that, at the end of the day, is what changes this fight for them.
So Neo had an incredible performance on the Callista, getting a win. We weren't sure if it was going to pick one up for Neo today. It's been a 100% pick rate so far in this series. But props to Neo. Thanks so much, Surdy. Now we'll have Sol come up here and walk us through our second replay that we're going to take a look at. This one from the perspective of top laner. Gamsu coming in here on the Ornn had a very strong fight around this pivotal dragon.
Yeah, so he's just walking in through river here first for his team, trying to establish some vision, front line for them.
We can actually accelerate a little bit. Yeah. It takes a while for the action to really come out, but like if we watch the information that he has.
Yeah, here's when everyone just starts grouping up on the bottom side. You can see Insanity's trying to get a flank angle. But the key thing here is the Wukong starts going back. So Perry starts going all the way back and looking for a flank angle himself. And then Perry actually finds a really, really good angle where I don't think TL saw them, and they're just coordinating this perfectly. So
Yeah.
Perry is letting Gamsu know right here that he's looking to go in.
So you're watching the Dragon. Clearly top and jungler are communicating.
Right, exactly, exactly. And while he's frontlining, he's also listening out for communication. So when Perry's about to engage, and should happen relatively soon.
Here, let's just accelerate to when we see the actual engagement.
Right, and here you go. Right here, Perry goes for the engage. Gamsu layers the Ornult. After this, the team fight's already won. They've been able to access the back line. He runs to the back, finishes off the Xayah, and then, it's just clean team fighting from here on out.
What I love is you can see the decision-making in team fights. This is what Surdy was saying earlier about a player like Gamsu. It's not necessarily about the individual play. It's these kinds of moments where, he sees a Swain ulting, and he's just like, okay, I'm going to ult, and nope, goodbye, Swain. I'm just going to walk to where my carries are. Try and keep frontlining the whole time.
What is so impressive about this guy is 99% of players will continue chasing the Renata on the Ornn here.
Sure.
But he immediately moves his camera back to his AD carry and switches to peeling mode.
Exactly.
The second that his engage is done. And that is something you don't see from Academy players.
Positioning well enough to get this double knockup too. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So he plays this fight super cleanly, layers the engage perfectly, and yeah, the rest is just really well team fighting and good cleanup.
In this moment, I remember thinking, like, actually, you can even let this kind of play out as he spots out Bradley at the end there. But I remember thinking, oh, okay, Insanity's got a big Swain ult here. Like, he's still going. He's going to drain tank. Is Insanity going to be the problem? But the fact that Dignitas say, avoid the Swain for as long as we can, take everybody else out, and then try and CC him and just layer our damage once we have that opportunity. It's really cool to see the whole team come together, which is, again, surprising thinking about how new this roster came together.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, after they got the engage on the Xayah, like, I think they realized that realistically Swain with his Spirit Visage build isn't really going to, kill the Ornn or kill the Wukong. So after they got the Xayah, the fight was pretty much just over from there.
All right, well, that's how it shook out. Game number 3 in the books for Dignitas Academy. And I know that, Surdy, you said that this is how you predicted it. I'm going to bring it to you, Sol, because you had Dignitas take in the series. Did you think it would be a reverse sweep?
I think Dignitas definitely have, the opportunity to reverse sweep. Honestly, Harry has been playing really, really well today, so let's see if Harry's able to falter a little bit or something.
Sure.
He's been playing a little out of his mind, but I think given the circumstances, I think TL will probably have a new plan coming into it, so I think it's going to be a tough road for Dig, but I think they still got it.
I think that there were two key moments that we highlighted as to why Dignitas Academy was able to pick up this win that happened in the draft phase in the early game. They had the tank into the Akali matchup, Ornn versus Akali for Gamsu, and they also got Insanity fed. My concern, and certainly I would like your thoughts on this one, is I don't know if that's replicable. Like, can you guarantee that that's going to happen twice in a row?
No, I can tell you exactly now what was going on in Bradley's mind is he wanted to play his ultimate comfort pick, the Akali, and he wanted to pop off in his final game of Proving Grounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why he picked it. But unfortunately, Ornn into Akali is literally unplayable. You get killed from the Brittle alone inside of your Shroud. You cannot lane, you cannot teamfight, you cannot play the game. And that's just what happened. I'm confident now that he's going to be like, okay, let's just close the series out. He's going to pick something more sturdy in the front. And if he could actually protect Yon in that game, they win.
Yeah.
But they just had an Akali.
And I know, Sol?
Yeah, no, I just think Surdy brought up a really, really good point. And Bradley definitely came out of game 2 pretty hungry with a lot to prove on the Aatrox. So he was probably hungry for the Akali win, some lane dominance. But I think he's going to go back to the basics now.
I agree.
I feel like a player like Bradley, especially based on what he was talking to us about last year, we had a chance to interview him after he won, spring there, and he was saying, look, my team popped off. I'm just happy that, I could be a part of this team and kind of play my role. A big goal of his in the summer was to show that he's a carry player. So going back to what Surdy said, I could definitely see that, the pressure to carry, but I kind of want him to do it again. I mean, they have another game that they could give up. That would prove you wrong.
I mean, honestly,
the series
he's improved a lot. I really wanted him to be able to showcase it a bit more inside of this series because Gamsu is a player that you can get through lane a bit easier versus, and a lot of the aspect that he's improved in has been his laning phase. He's always been a pretty good team fighter.
Sure.
I mean, we even saw from behind as Akali into the LeBlanc who can reveal him, into the Ornn who can stop his engage. He was still doing fine. In that last fight, he picked off the LeBlanc who's meant to be a champion counter to him, and if Yon stayed with the other 3, I'm pretty sure that they might win that fight.
Yeah, but Jan, of course, peeled off, and they kind of 2v1 the LeBlanc. A lot of small decisions that could have been the game changer, but either way, it's 1-2 in the series right now. It's still match point, but Dignitas Academy finding some momentum, so we're going to send it back over to the casters for game number 4.
Let's get back into a fantastic series between Team Liquid Honda Academy and Dignitas Academy. Joshi, do you think this will go all 5?
My heart says yes, but my brain says no. It feels like it's not a
Well, that's
proven
because you're a
ground.
coward.
What?
Matt, what about you?
What?
Well, I hate to reveal what's going on.
Are you a coward too?
Yes.
We're all cowards.
See, TL is on blue side now, and we're going to talk a lot about drafts and the changes that we may see coming up here. I think the blue side is a big difference for TL. May open up a few champions, and they have a chance to deny some others as no LeBlanc for Insanity.
Volibear, still open. Easy first pick.
They have to
Trundle,
ban-
Still open. Poppy,
Ooh.
still open.
Lots of jungle picks still available, but one of the big things we always see on Red, and Dignitas have been the most successful Red side team in this tournament. They give Insanity counter pick a lot, and they've already taken 3 of his most played characters off the table.
Looking at that Volibear, if it's going to be the last ban or not, and it is. I
Trundle.
expect that it's 100% win rate between the 2 junglers, but that leaves open that Trundle you're talking about, Josh.
Yep, Trundle has been one of the best picks that is possible into Perry's pool this entire time. But we also saw lots of North American League of Legends turn into first pick for the Lulu, but it is going to be Ahri this time for Harry. Dignitas doesn't have as much value necessarily put into Insanity's counter pick, which has been one of the big parts of his success.
10-0 this split, 7-0 this tournament, undefeated today for Harry's Ahri as Dignitas. Their response, I'm expecting Callista.
Really?
Would
I'm
not be
expecting Aphelios.
Well, we could see Yawns Aphelios, and I think that's some of the danger of locking in the Callista now. I'm really curious if they end up grabbing a support. I actually would prefer support counter pick that would force Perry to blind a champion here. And Perry's pool, it's really bad into Trundle. So I think that Perry, like, he's played Xin Zhao, Poppy, Volibear, Wukong are off the table. The other champion, Trundle, both those champions do get slammed by Trundle, the Xin Zhao and the Poppy. So because of that, Dignitas do end up taking support. This allows TL to take a bot lane that can completely counter this, and I am 100% expecting to see Yawns Aphelios for the first time today here.
But does Team Liquid really want to allow Trundle to get an opportunity to be banned again? It's been one of the best champions that they've had in Perry's pool. It was just last year, I think, whereas Trundle was so strong that it eliminated Xin Zhao from the meta space single-handedly. And so, we see the next couple of picks come through. It's Yawns Aphelios, and this is either Lulu or a Trundle.
I mean, Lulu, right now, people have been making fun of it, not having the best, most spectacular last few days in the tournament.
They could Poppy. I know it would give Trundle over to Perry, but it's really good in the Callista. But yeah, we were expecting the Lulu. So the hard bot lane counter for the best bot lane that we have had in Academy this split this year for Yawn and Ayla.
So now, what does Perry actually want to play? We've already seen his pool get pinched fairly heavily.
Take Poppy.
I mean, it does feel like a very easy Poppy angle, but this is a situation where it feels like Team Liquid have enough tools. They haven't committed to one way of fighting or another just quite yet, and instead, it's the Xin Zhao, which means they have to ban the troll.
Yeah, I'm expecting Trundle to be first banned right
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to see the troll toll being paid here by Dignitas for locking in that Xin Zhao. And again, Armeo's pool, it is very deep. We have seen a lot more stage games from Armeo. The split, of course, Perry joining for the last 4 games, regular season and PG. His evolution has been massive, and he will be put to the test this game as Xin Zhao being blinded. Armeo's pool will be narrowed, but we will have to see if Perry is still up to the task.
I mean, historically, we've been seeing Armeo playing a lot of things like Viego. He's even pulled out the Bel'Veth in these kind of positions, but he's been playing for so long. I almost wonder if they go back to something that has been tried and true for the general for years and years. I almost feel like this is a great Nocturne angle.
I think they still ban Poppy. I would still ban Poppy given the fact that you are showing Callista. Xin Zhao can also somewhat neutralize the engage, but also you have the Fiora to be concerned about. We have not seen Bradley be allowed to have Fiora yet in this series. Very good into the pool that Gamsu likes, and Gamsu, one of his answers into Fiora would likely be that Gnar, so TLA potentially already setting up for that.
So Gamsu will be kind of pressured a little bit. Luckily, he will have access to R5 counterpick if he wants it. But historically, again, this has been going over into Insanity. Dignitas, with one more ban being leveled their way, they have a composition that is also very flexible. You have a lot of space being created by the Renata, by the Xin Zhao in order to allow Neo to hit. But one of the things that they're missing out on right now is somebody to just go in and get fights started. That's typically Gamsu's job, but his champion pool is probably going to be able to do it. I'm expecting an Ornn ban, honestly, here to prevent it from happening, but no, it's going to be an Akali.
What about a Poppy top?
It's not. It's got some good matchups.
You can't do that. You can't blind that if you're Dignitas. I'm expecting to see a Poppy from Armeo here, but Dig will have to blind or counter mid or blind top if they really want to take Ornn now. Yeah. Not expecting to see that though, as maybe a Silas. Oh, Lissandra. Okay, I actually like this.
Yeah.
You can pressure Ahri in lane. You have some lockdown. Dignitas. We saw them pick a comp game 1 that had to play quickly. They weren't able to get out on the map and make the plays necessary, but Dig feels like they've been warming up on stage. This is a comp where they will have to play fast in the TLA, but they do have a lot of tools to try and make those plays.
This is also a champion that turned to Lego's season around earlier in the year, right? You have a very clear game plan. You go bottom lane over and over, and Team Liquid using this Ornn pickup as potentially a extra pick, but the Poppy does come through for Armchair. The double Yordle composition has so much control. You can knock out multiple members, and there's not a ton of tools for Dignitas to use to dodge out in the Keeper's Verdict. They just have to use their just raw dodging skills. And so Team Liquid, they have pick tools. They have ways to separate the team fight. They have ways to start fights and end them.
It could be Ornn. Do we see Bradley potentially blind and Olaf? I actually think Olaf's pretty good in everything showing here for Dignitas. If he wanted to do it, but no.
Or Gwen.
It will be the Gwen. Yeah, okay. I'm expecting a Sejuani here for Dignitas. It would give Merc Treads and Cleanse very high value on the side of TLA, but it would at least enable Dig to continue to try and make early plays through these lanes.
What about Aatrox?
Aatrox is okay, right? You definitely need to go an Eclipse build if you do try and make it happen in this game, but I really like the idea that you just have some guaranteed lockdown. You force Cleanse out to the other side, but
oh my god,
hey.
I actually have something on this.
Okay.
Back last year, when Gomsu faced off against Team Liquid Academy, he played this game 4 when they were down 2-1 and went 9-1 on this champion. He popped off in that game.
It's not something we've seen a lot from him since, though, but it is something that he has historically had a lot of success on. And so Gomsu really throwing a gauntlet down now. He's got such an impactful ultimate, and if he can separate the fight as well, it makes it so much more difficult for the rest of Team Liquid to fight.
I really don't love that pick.
Really?
Gomsu. Yeah.
But the narrative.
But the Merc Treads value.
But the narrative.
The Merc Treads were getting value no matter what, right? I don't think there's a champion that Gomsu was likely to pick that would prevent Tenacity from being fantastic.
Man, I'm more excited for this game as well. If Dignitas take this, we have the potential for a reverse sweep or a reverse sweep denial. One of the few things that we ever get to really see in best of fives, but it's always so entertaining, so exciting, and so fun. So for both these teams, I just want to see how they're going to battle against one another.
I'm excited because Dignitas has said, we're going to fight, right? You have a Sandra, you have a Kennen. They're going to be looking for these big opportunities. They've been a little gun-shy so far, so we'll see if they can take the opportunities.
They have to go early. They need to make plays with this Xin Zhao, Lissandra. Perry has 2 very strong solo lanes to play through that have gank assist, that are magic damage with his physical damage. I really want to see if Perry can step up, play around the lanes that need it, and get Dignitas to that game 5.
And as we get ready for this game 4 in our best of 5 series, I hear we have an interview on the side with Rafa and XU of Dignitas.
Hello there, everyone. I am Rafa, joined here by XU, current LCS.
All right. Well, shenaniganeries. Maybe. Yes, no. Maybe so.
Get XU and Rafa back here soon. I'm looking forward to hear what XU has to say about his squad trying to push things to a game 5.
Yeah, I mean, also what he has to say on his replacement, right? Perry coming up from the amateur side of the ecosystem, and now he's been having a pretty decent showing so far. Again, the most rookie player compared to everything else on the Rift. But Team Liquid, Dignitas, as they come into this 4th game of the series, it's been a long road for both of them to actually find their way here. Team Liquid having to fight their way through the lower bracket, going up against FlyQuest, Cloud9. Excuse me, that was last year. I'm looking at Evil Geniuses, Dignitas, Immortals, 100 Thieves, Cloud9. They have to play up against so many different teams.
All right, so here we go. Second time's a charm. Let's give it over to Rafa and XU so we can hear that interview.
Hello, everyone. I am Rafa, joined here by current LCS jungler for Dignitas, XU, formerly of the Academy team during the spring and the first half of summer. We were talking backstage about, you know, Insanity, given a lot of those resources in Game 3 really helped. And, I mean, you're one of the people that would know most about it.
Yeah, so when David has resources, he's one of the most vocal players on the team. So I think it's really important that they get him on something he's comfortable on so that he can kind of make sure that everyone knows how they want to play the game around him.
And so after game 2, one of the important things about that we have remarked as a broadcast team is the culture behind Dignitas. Game 2, that was a crushing defeat that was so close to being capitalized by Dignitas. But when they came out on stage, I mean, you saw it yourself, they were still all smiles. They were still ready to play.
I mean, there's only 2 words for that, and it's just Deo Stiff. I think he really brings a culture of like happiness and making sure that the whole environment is light. Even though they lost the game in a tragic way, I think it showed that they can definitely beat TL, and all they need to do is fix up on the little things. So I think they're confident coming into these next few games.
All right, well, it is game 4, Dignitas on the upswing. Back to you, Magical.
Thank you so much, both you, Rafa, and XU. Great to hear from you guys, but getting back into this game, Cubby, what's been going on?
Yeah, each jungler pathing towards this bot side. Also, curious to note, when you're going into a Kennen, exhaust very high value. Bradley actually opting for that over the Ghost, which makes the heal for Ayla A-okay in the bot side, as we have currently each jungler trying to do maybe a reverse clear for Perry. He is holding out and taking the blue, trying to get his camps to respawn a little bit quicker, and Armeo on his 5th camp as well.
It's also worth noting, right, the cleanse forced out of multiple players, both Harry and Jan being forced to take in. There are so many things you need to cleanse in this game. The Kennen ultimate, the Lissandra ultimate, the Renata ultimate, any single one of them can be life-threatening.
So this Ari tech of the Unsealed Spellbook, we have seen it into Lissandra quite a bit. Usually we actually see TP taken in some games, then you can use the Spellbook to grab Cleanse around 6 when you really need it. But given all the threat and all the value that Cleanse brings, I think we're going to see Harry try and pick up that TP in the mid-game and just keep Cleanse for the whole game.
I will say, there's big tax paid across the board. You talked about the bot lane, you talked about the mid lane, also paying up the exhaust tax in the top lane. Bradley picking that up instead of going for the typical ignite that you tend to see because he is that worried about the damage that Gamsu can provide in team fights.
And so we'll see how effectively Bradley can be in the right position. He's gotten caught out a couple of times this series, right? It's been a little bit difficult for him to navigate on the Akali. Now, Serdi said he did a good job, and I would agree. I thought Bradley played that about as well as he could have outside of the times that he was getting caught. But this is a situation where Team Liquid have a lot more control over when fights can potentially break out, and both teams very focused on these picks. So I like the fact that both of them have put so much stock in getting wards down in this bottom river.
And while I don't love the Kennen pick, given the Merc Treads value on the side of TL and their ability to try and disengage from this Kennen. I do love it for the lane. It does lane very, very well into the Gwen. This is something that we have seen used to some success, mostly in other regions. I think LPL has been playing the most Kennen this split. We'll see if Gamsu can channel some of that to make sure that he sets Bradley behind, denies some early resources from this pick that we have seen shred games later, especially that game 1.
It's Gamsu in playoffs, in a best-of-5 against Team Liquid.
He's scaling, baby.
I have confidence in him, Cubby. You are a coward for doubting him.
Oh, well, here's Armeo coming around the back.
That's a lot of damage onto Bradley initially. So even if you spot him out and the flash burn, not too bad from Gamsu.
I'm not sure if that flash was entirely necessary.
Probably wasn't necessary, but still.
Either way, he still finds his way out. It is pressure coming out from Armeo. But that's interesting. One of the things we've always been looking at with Gamsu is how many teams like to dive, and we'll get back to that as Dignitas, they spot Armeo out on the top side of the map and instantly start up the dragon.
And hey, this is timed up with the reset from TLA. Actually, I believe they just bluffed it. Maybe looking bot lane here. We might see Ayla and Jan go for an all-in in the bot side.
Maybe, but they have no idea that Perry's there. He usually becomes lightning to get over the wall and dodge away from the vision the Scuttle Crab would have provided.
Well done.
Yeah, Team Liquid, you know, completely bamboozled by this one from Dignitas. Good stuff coming out from Perry. And again, Perry is a player that we know is very, very intelligent, especially about the way he makes plans in early game. But Bradley goes.
Level 6 advantage. Needlework damage. Sure, it doesn't connect any of them, but it scares away Gamsu.
3 dodges by Gamsu, not taking a single one of those ultimates, and Bradley not able to find the slow, not able to find his way in, and so Bradley will not be able to get the same kind of advantage he wanted off of that level 6. Just denies a couple of minions, but Armeo...
Yeah, but JJ's here. Defend him if he needs to. Smite secured by Armeo.
He wins this.
Now, they might be able to win this unless Neo can turn the tides of this. They got Perry pretty low. Should burn to the ignite, but not die from it. Insanity now on the rotation, trying to see if he can get there, but because Harry is nearby, it's going to be difficult. The blast going over. Ayla, very aggressive there. Now Neo is caught in a bad position. The flash in from Armeo, the flash in from Ayla, making sure there's no retreat. And they got it. Wait, not again. How does everyone survive this entire
turn.
time. Finally, Harry makes sure there is no more Captain Jack Sparrow. He's hit the deck.
And Harry again finds the kill at the end, tries to find JJ, not going to be letting the charm, but it happens every time, man.
Man, poor Neo. It was 3 flashes and 3 spirit rushes used to take him down on the Callista. It really wanted to get him off the map. A lot invested, but it is worth it.
20 CS differential already coming out between Jan and Neo. The fact that they got the counter pick in the bottom lane, the Aphelios Lulu going up against the Calista Renata has given them so much value.
And keep in mind that while Dignitas were on blue side, they were able to ban out that Aphelios the first 2 games. So this is a matchup that we have seen TL play to great success throughout this season. Good to see them busting it out in Game 4 as TLA. They respond as a team. 3 flashes committed to take down this Callista. A really nice sidestep from Neo on the Glitter Lance.
There's only so much you can do.
Yeah, it's too much, bad.
A little bit too much, too many people there, but it is just a great play. I love the way the Team Liquid were able to stagger their crowd control, right? It was a perfect amount, and just a single more auto attack landing that Glitter Lance at the end would be enough to take them down instantly.
Yeah, and one thing, want to point out early, look at this from TLA. Merc Treads already on the top side, as we will see if they decide to prep this Herald fight. Again, Dignitas with this Kennen, with this Lysandra, they want to make plays early. So Dignitas parry, no fear, trying to hit this. The bot lanes are sticking bot, so this is Dignitas saying, we dare you to fight us 3v3. We will see if TLA decides to answer.
No way.
And guess what? Answer's down.
It's going to be 2 early objectives put up by Dignitas, right? This has been one of the ways that they do find objectives, that they do find a lot of their victories. And so far, Dignitas, we've been very happy with some of the objectives that they've taken. But the one thing that we did criticize them about earlier was their ability to take second dragons has been a little bit problematic this game, right? Remember, Harry had a fantastic steal. They were looking for a different dragon that ended up getting taken away.
I think the more problematic thing for me is that difference you pointed out between Jan and Neo in the bot lane.
Something else is problematic. Armeo, he just walked over that control board, but given the priority that he has mid and bot, Armeo knows that he can go for this. And the answer from Armeo, it's not a neutral objective, but it is still denying resources away from Perry for taking that neutral himself.
We've seen this fight before too, Cubby, right around this Grump. Armeo going to try and take it away, but no smite.
Hold on. Armeo's in trouble.
Wow, the claw right onto Armeo, but punch them away.
No way.
With Keeper's Verdict. Can he survive? He's got wild growth. They've got damage.
Harry.
JJ and Neo.
Harry,
Getting
he's
over the
ulting.
wall. JJ, he's close to death, but he might survive unless Harry shows up again. Undefeatable on Ari.
We've seen this fight before. It's the same script yet again. Armeo finds his way in. He creates space. Harry pops over. Auto attack for the kill to pick it up. 2 kills going over to Harry. And this mid lane matchup is paying off so much. Harry, the returning prince, once again, Insanity coming back down, having so much opportunity, trying to be the usurper, but not able to fight it. And God, Armeo, he gets both of these with the Keeper's Verdict.
Full charge, too. It was a full charge Keeper's Verdict, so they got punted very far away. And the fact that Neo, only level 5, even if JJ is level 6,
This auto.
there's no way to save him.
No way to save him. Man, it feels so rough. You're Dignitas' bot lane at this point, right? Again, I talked to Ayla early on, and I was saying, you guys are going up against an LCS bottom lane. JJ's played in the LCS before. Neo was playing earlier this split. Ayla's response, I don't think half of them are ready for LCS again. We are the LCS bot lane that's ready to set up. They go for the invade. They set up Armeo. They set up Harry to come in. They do almost all the damage, but Harry's the one who comes up and scoops up the rice.
And that's Insanity's first ultimate used to no kill. In fact, it is TL coming out on top of that play. Again, this Lysandra, this Kennen, their value will decrease over time. It's so important that Dignitas are able to find early plays with these champions, but it is TL that's sitting on the 2K gold lead after 10 minutes.
Getting themselves in a good position. Better scaling on their side as well with Gwen and Aphelios. Looking at what Dignitas can now do. Their backs are against the wall. There are no more ways where you could just say, all right, we got them next game. We'll just wait it out. Or maybe if we play a little bit different next game. It's this game now. 2-1 in favor of Team Liquid Honda. Dignitas Academy, the team that nobody expected to be in finals, now having a showing where they gotta perform now if they want to prove to everyone why they deserve to be the future generation of LCS.
Dignitas committing the teleport towards the top side. They will be getting a lot of plates here in the mid lane, but Dignitas opting not to really go for opportunities to find the charm.
Nice charm, nice Everfrost, but the claw not gonna actually be there for Insanity, and he's in danger. Frozen Tomb on himself. Even if JJ's nearby, it's way too late to save him, so they can just gift more gold over to Harry.
Kabami Cinder takes it there for Armeo, but now they go right on back. They get 2 more plates giving over to Insanity. That's 4 plates that he's picked up.
And that's also Dragon as well. Mid lane removed from the map. Not a ton of tools burned from TL.
All right. They changed guitar.
Yeah, they want
Are
to
they going for Neo? No, they want to make sure that they don't lose a wave at the same time. So Team Liquid taking the maximum.
And this has been the winning strategy that we've seen from TL in this top 4 in the playoffs. A lot of it has been about taking push in lanes and then what Armeo can do with that. And man, oh man, what have Armeo and Harry done with that early this game? They have destroyed this map on the bot side, the other lane that TL have pushed, thanks to the counter picks that they had in draft, and thanks to how well Yawn and Ayo have been playing these champions.
Harry's showing why he's undefeated on this Ahri as well. This is the 3rd game where he's getting these early leads and absolutely steamrolling the map.
I love watching Harry in these like playoff situations, right? Because he's the kind of player who, when he gets stressed, he tends to get angry, right? You see him just go for all these aggressive plays. He doesn't just curl back. No, he looks for opportunities to try and find these carry moments. You saw right there, just using the ultimate, trying to find his way onto Insanity. Not going to be finding a whole lot off of it, but still, he looks for all these opportunities. He's not afraid to use his abilities early in order to get in range. We saw, as you called out earlier, 2 Spirit Rushes were used just to get in range of Neo in the first place.
Poor Neo, man. Getting chased down on this Callisto.
He's not the one, I guess.
Yeah, not to mention getting crushed in lane by this counter pick, given the pressure that TL have been able to put onto Dignitas in this draft. This was part of the concern. It took Dignitas 3 games to win on blue side. Blue side has been stronger on this patch. I believe in this tournament has about a 60% win rate going into today as well. TL with blue side putting it to good use.
Yep.
And this bot lane that has been the best bot lane in the CAD ever since they joined week 4 of spring, after their time splitting LCS while Core JJ was still getting his green card back. They have been the bot lane to beat. Very few teams have been able to topple Yawn and Awa. Props to Neo and JJ. They did it to put TL here, but Yawn and Awa, they have come back on this stage with a vengeance.
And again, the core coming through for Team Liquid, right? There have been very few situations where this 4-player squad of Armeo, Harry, Yawn, and Ayla were not playing together, right? Bradley, the newest member, but he's also been playing with them for an entire year. The synergy that comes through. This felt like a very different game plan. It felt like Team Liquid were looking at the previous game and saying, we need to take more control of this. We're going to give Harry the opportunity to be aggressive, and man, is he paying off.
I'm glad you talked about the synergy with Team Liquid Academy. They're one of 2 teams that remained entirely intact during the split between spring and summer, and then FlyQuest promoted the Phillip up afterwards. This is now the only team that has remained completely intact from the very beginning of the year.
You know what I'd like to ask Alex on that one?
What's that?
Why? Why are these guys still here? Let's get them into LCS already. The way that they've been playing has been fantastic. 2 consecutive championships on the line. They are so close. 1 game, and they're in control of this one. Now they need to find a way to close down. Dignitas' window is closing, right? I think it's realistically the next Dragon. If Dignitas don't find a fight around the 3rd Dragon, game could be over.
I'm really looking at Insanity, Perry, or Perry and Gamsu to sync up. Again, the magic damage solo laners with the Xin Zhao jungle. It is a gore drinker for Perry. We will see if he is able to work with the solo laners, as at the moment. His bot lane does have push, but that is partly because Armeo is taking that 2nd Rift Herald for free in the hands of TLA.
Yep. Insanity walks over.
Contested a little bit. Going to get the Everfrost. Should be smite secured by Armeo.
Okay.
Will be able to get
Hold
it for
on.
himself. Yep,
He's waiting to use the ult.
He's waiting it out. There it is. Channeling it now. Punting away only 1, but the first kill on himself. Still will be fine.
All right, Armeo, another good keeper's verdict. There's a reason why this champion has been so good. But what are you looking at me like that for?
It's too easy, man. Just able to get that off for free. There's no follow-up from Perry. We were looking for the Lissandra ult to be synced up with the Xin Zhao. He even waits to fire it off until he's about to eat that whistle. Oh, the reaction from Insanity wasn't able to get it done. And Armeo walks away with the objective. Walks away with the cooldown.
The big bad wolf.
The big bad wolf blowing them all down. I also feel for Insanity, right? He's been one of these players that has had a lot of opportunity to showcase himself. He was probably the star player of Team Liquid Academy back in the day, along with Jenkins. Then he moved his way up to Immortals. Still, finding a roster that was struggling. This is the first time I think we've seen it in a championship since 2018 at the earliest, right? Like, this guy still trying to find his way in. He tries to carry the last game. He does a good job. He gets them to this game 4, but the walls are closing in.
They give
That's a Harry line.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm about to use a diamond line.
Yeah?
So all TLA has to do is just kind of oink around this game. Again, this is a comp where they outscale the side of Dignitas across the board. They are already sitting with a 3K gold advantage and have a chance to pick up a second dragon here in the ocean. 25 seconds out, Dignitas, they do have Gamsu top, but does have that empowered teleport to try and get in position as TLA fight the mid wave.
But what wards do they have, right? We take a look at the mini-map, and there's just nothing. There's only wards here and here. Those are not flanks, right? That is not going to get you an opportunity for Gamsu to get in. He has to use his flash. He has to use the proto belt. And if you can't find a flank with the cannon, you're just going to get slowed by Ayla. You're going to get knocked out by Armchair.
There's no room on the map. This is going to be all TLA as this spawns.
Are you sure about that? I'm looking right now.
Yeah, Perry's top side, I'm pretty sure.
Perry is. There you go. That'll make it, once he's spotted out, then they'll say, okay,
Harry.
it is easily ours.
Might get caught by Harry.
What?
Ooh, not quite.
I was about to say, I think it's the other way around.
I have caught a lot of junglers in that exact push. I think if Harry had just a touch more patience, he could have done it, but instead, prioritizing the wave, you know, it is the smarter play, making sure nothing goes down, but he has a Spirit Rush to avoid the dive.
Not getting caught on weak side like his top laner, you know, I'd say it's pretty good from
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. He's also a lot safer, right? He's got that triple dashes and a flash, a cleanse, but now Perry coming around the backside, Ayla does spot him.
I feel like Dignitas, they got to do something right now because they are hemorrhaging this gold over to Team Liquid at the moment. Even if it's only 3 kills gained in total through this entire game, we have nearly a 3,500 gold lead for Team Liquid Honda at 18 minutes.
Yeah. And while we're looking at it, I want to give a little bit more praise to Dignitas as a roster again, because I don't think we've given them enough praise for how well they were able to find the right here. They had a pretty tough bracket run going up. We were expecting FlyQuest to have a bit of a better showing in Proving Grounds than they did in the regular season. They were surging at the right time. Dignitas beat them. They play up against Team Liquid, the #1 team from the regular season. Dignitas beat them again. They played against Cloud9, a roster full of LCS and international veterans. Dignitas beat them again, 3-0.
They crushed them.
Yeah, they crushed them. But TLA, again, returning to this lower bracket, Bradley said it. Dignitas was our wake-up call. We had to go back. We had to stop phoning scrims in. We had to really taste what it felt like to lose. Okay. And once they tasted that, TLA did not want to drop a game again, as we do have a play coming out from Insanity.
They might got the pick on them. Look at all that damage poured, trying to make sure he's got no way out. But now, Armchair, out of nowhere, he was able to punch away. But with the slicing maelstrom onto 2 members, they're getting a little bit of damage. Armchair is still pretty tanky. We're coming in. They've got Bradley. They've got the dash. They've got Gamsu flashing away. Hostile Takeover might be able to re-engage this fight for Dignitas, but they got to be wary. Now that Neo's shown up, they have to back.
They try and find Harry, but the dashes, the cleanse are all too good. The power that Harry has on this Ahri, now they should be able to pick up this top lane turret.
Looking at Yawn. Yawn, healthy member on the team.
Flash charm.
A lot of minions there. Insanity went in with the claw, but they got a lot of damage, forcing out the Moonlight Vigil as well as that stopwatch, the flash 2 from Insanity to survive.
Just waiting for Harry to look for another opportunity. Bradley on the flank. They're looking at Perry.
Maybe it's going to be Bradley getting caught. He's got a little bit of damage. Trying to carry that back is Perry, but Perry's going to be fine for that moment. They got the knock up onto Bradley. Bradley wants to get over, but that nice use of the orb comes in from Harry, chasing him down. And once again, we're being shown why you cannot give Harry Ahri.
4 kills, 2 or 3 kills, 4 kills. So much coming through on the side of Team Liquid. They take everything down.
It's a
and
Baron.
they know.
It's a Baron.
Yeah.
It's a 20-minute Baron.
They know there's no contest from Dignitas. You need the Lissandro, the Frozen Tomb. You need the Slicing Maelstrom. It's not coming through. Dignitas are trying to contest this anyway because of Team Liquid being so low.
They have
Sandy, Perry, the two. This duo have been carrying the team here to the finals.
Got
it is a do or die. Full send, but Team Liquid, they back off of it. They are wise. And Harry dives in looking for Perry, but nice use of the Raptors to make sure there was not a re-engage.
It's almost a Baron.
But for Dignitas, I mean, a team that tore their way through the upper bracket to make it to finals, A team that was giving TLA a run for their money. Game 2 was close. Game 3 was theirs, but Game 4 down a match point again. It feels like they don't have anything left in the tank. This composition does not scale, and this fight going even. That favors TLA, and on the back half dig, they feel like they have to fight again. They know that it's a doomsday scenario, but they couldn't find anything.
We also saw the power of exhaust onto Kennen right at the beginning of that slicing maelstrom, so no damage came through.
Team Liquid just able to play out slow, and this is one of the things that's been so impressive to me is their willingness to play discipline. They have the mechanics, but they don't always need to showcase them. That winning this whole thing is going to be more valuable to them. And Team Liquid, they take down all of these players. They force the Dignitas members off the turret. But here off on the side, right, there's no ultimates. How do you do anything? There's no hostile takeover. There's no frozen tomb. It's just a matter of Team Liquid being stronger and creating space. And eventually when Terry gets that first kill, they just totally take over the fight.
Pixel perfect Q. Both hit on
no,
JJ,
the
but
charm
as we get
on
back,
Neo.
Perry.
Neo, he's in danger as Perry and Armeo have their own duel on the other side. Cleanse comes out of Yawn to be able to survive from the
Hold
hot
on.
takeover now. That Moonlight Vigil.
That's a lot of crumbs.
Not doing a lot of damage, though. They got to get him in range. They got to make sure they can find the flank with Bradley here. And Bradley, needlework, nearly takes down Neo. He's still alive while Perry fights in the midst of everyone. Will they fallen? They got double.
Man.
They might be able to get triple off of Neo. It is Yawn carrying this fight. He's got the back. He's got the pack, and he is ready to take the title.
And now it's going to be the Baron coming through for Team Liquid. A dominant fight, a near perfect game, a deathless game from Team Liquid thus far. They've been playing so well, and yet again, Harry stepping up when all needs to be there. Bradley coming through at the flank, almost one-shotting Neo with his ultimate alone. Team Liquid are all coming online at the right time.
This is, again, why you don't give Harry Ari.
And for what may be a last dance for this roster, 3 contracts expiring, players that we believe should be playing at the next level. TL, they are going down as champions. They are going down playing one of the better games that we have seen. We talked about wake-up calls being put in the lower bracket. What about Game 3, dropping that to Dignitas? They've come screaming back in this series saying, no, we are making this 3 days in top 4 on stage, all gentlemen sweeps against you. As Dignitas, they're on the map first for this Dragon. TLA resetting with the Baron. They have not started it. They want to find a pick, but Yawn, he sniffs it out.
Nicely done by Yawn. He's got a lot of damage that he's packing now with that 2 items completed, but Armeo tries to dive in by himself. They've got the TP coming in, but Gomster's a bit far away to help out the rest of the team. He's looking for Yawn now. He has to completely ditch, but they got the root with the Gravitum gun. Trying to see if they can slow him more and more and more. Slicing Maelstrom doesn't slice anybody. Yawn is unstoppable, and he is making the case that it's not just Ayla. It is him, too, that carry the bot lane. They've got the power. They've got the damage, and they're here to make sure they gain that title.
Team Liquid rampaging through everything. The Kennen ultimate getting absolutely no value. Yawn playing the range beautifully. They find another couple of turrets. They are marching towards the end of the game. 8,000 gold lead at only 24 minutes into the game. They can back away, but they want to get all the turrets before they go to the Dragon.
And they still have Baron. They still have 90 seconds left. Empowered push. 3 members down for Dignitas. Gonna take an inhibitor. They should play towards mid now. But TL, again, checking everything they need to win this game. And this thing is all but over. 3 finals in a row for TLA, trying to make it 2 championships in a row. Their banners only in the year of 2022 as Team Liquid Academy, a team that was our last place team before Spawn took over with this core, have only experienced success since.
With only 1 blemish on it. Again, they've made top 4 at everything these guys have ever played at, with the exception of 1 Proving Grounds, right? The success, the consistency that these guys, Barrage, APA, man, the success that this roster has had, and again, every single member ready to go up. A lot of his peers say it too, right? You know, we have to give Armeo a lot of credit, as well as KDA isn't as flashy as Harry or Yawn. The number of times he's set up good fights with the Keeper's Verdict to knock people away. Also been making this huge impact, and his peers all say, I don't understand why we're playing against him. He's ready to go to LCS.
I mean, for me, Armeo has been the MVP of the series. He has been so good, even in
Really?
game
Over
3
Harry?
they dropped. Yeah, yeah. I think Armeo has been that good. The Poppy games, he has been controlling the map like no one else. And Armeo, again, a player that has gone through a couple of orgs, someone that we really feel like is that next level. I think Champs Q's did him a lot of justice, just proving that him being consistently top 20 is someone that can compete at the top of the table. And I mean, if that's not enough, he has been running through Proving Grounds Academy for the past 2 years.
Big Bad Armchair, all the rookies.
Yeah, and now 2 titles to his name at the level below LCS.
Might be caught out. They're getting a bit of damage on him. That needlework, though, helping him out massively. Wild growth on the other side, and here comes Armchair, punching him away. The general leading the charge as Perry will fall. He got the charm. They've got the damage, and Harry is unstoppable. This is Proving Grounds. You fight, and you fight to prove again and again that you are the future of LCS.
And Team Liquid marching towards the end of the game. This is their opportunity to showcase that they are the best team that Academy has ever seen. Dignitas, their last stand.
I don't know if they've got anything left. They've got to put a miracle into this one. The flash in with hostile takeover does nothing because they got cleansed. They've got damage. It's Eddie locked down with that Moonlight Vigil, making sure that nobody can get out unless Gomsu can pull off a miracle. He's got damage, but not nearly enough. A dominating performance out of Harry. Team Liquid Academy. They did it once. They'll do it twice. They'll take those amulets and they'll take the Proving Grounds titles here in 2022 all the way through.
And you can see the relief on their faces. You can see they are so ready to go. This is just a surreal moment for so many of them. As we've said, this might be the last time they play together.
We're quiet for a reason. There's confetti on the stage.
But you watch them. It's just relief, I think, on a lot of their faces. They said earlier on in the series, in the season, that anything less than winning Proving Grounds again was not going to be enough. They take it down. The confetti blooms across the stage, and they are just happy that they could recreate their success.
Not just relief, but joy. Again, contracts expiring. This team winning 2 titles in a row. They know themselves that they probably will not be playing together again as 5. What better way to go out than winning the finals 3-1, having one of the most dominant games that we have seen from them all split in Game 4. Players that hopped continents to play with each other in NA Academy. If this is the last dance for them, they went out with a bang, could not go out any better. They are our champions again in summer.
3-1 victory for them too. No best of 5 this time. They're able to end it a lot earlier, get themselves that title. And as you called out, Cubby, they've got a bright future amongst all of them. The future is going to be emblazoned, especially after 2022 domination like this.
Team Liquid, there they go. A lot of photos coming through. Multiple members of our most valuable prospect candidates list, both Ayla and Jan, some of the best bottom laners we've had in the Academy system in years, taking down multiple previous LCS bottom lanes. And right here, they were able to beat Tactical and Mina. They just beat Neo and JJ yet again. So many different challengers rising to try and take them down, and yet still Jan and Ayla stand tall.
Gotta love it. I gotta love the story behind all these players. 4 players that have been together for some time, bringing in a new role-swapping player, taking the titles twice back-to-back. Incredible performance.
Only thing sweeter than doing it once is doing it twice if you're TLA. And now we'll just have to see what the future holds for this group of fine young gentlemen. Not only for TLA, but also for Dignitas. A team that came together right before Proving Grounds, making finals through the upper bracket was something that no one had in the brackets that we made beforehand. So that Dignitas made happen. Could not make the finals happen for them. It is going to our #1 seed, but still, Dignitas, what a journey for them as well. But at the moment, it is for TLA.
All right, for the last time on the desk, we'll say goodbye to everyone. We're gonna let Kangas get an immediate reaction from 2 of our players. So Kangas, take it away.
Let's give a round of applause, first off, for Team Liquid Academy and the 2 heroes of the series. We got Jan and Harry. All right, Harry, I want to start with you.
Yeah.
Harry the hero, Harry Poggers, man, you showed up today. I know last spring, it was a crazy 5-game series. At the end, it felt bittersweet for you. You felt like you were not the one that got the team across the finish line, but no one's going to say that after this performance, man. That was absolutely insane. How does it feel to know that you're the hero today?
Yeah, I think last proving grounds in grand finals, when I went to game 5, I think I had a very poor game and I was kind of upset. But I think, I can sleep happy after today's performance. I think I played really well today and I feel really good about the win. So I think it was deserved.
I know the crowd was cheering for you. Jan as well. Your story's been so interesting for me to follow from the time way back in amateur. It felt like there was a whole calendar year where you were perpetually second place, and now you can't stop winning. So what's next for Jan? What are you going to win next?
Hopefully LCS, but in the end, my goal will be to play in the LCK.
Ooh, okay. So you got higher aspirations right now. What team?
Any team.
Any
Lower team doesn't matter.
LCK, you watching this? This guy's kind of cracked. I got to bring us back now to that final moment in the game. You know you're going to win, right? You got that momentum behind you. Harry, what does that feel like when you're on stage and you know that this time around it's not a 5-game series?
Yeah, the past 2 days, I think, both the series went to 3-1. And, I kind of expected the same for today's games. Also, I'm not really sure why they gave me Ari on the last game, so I think that's their fault. So, yeah, I mean, I'll take the win. I'm really happy, and yeah, it feels great winning the. It's the last game probably with like this roster as a 5, so it's very meaningful, and I think we really showed like what we're capable of, and we really showed our strengths today. So it was a good win.
I'm happy that you mentioned that because, of course, we'll get everyone else's thoughts a little bit later here. But Jan, knowing that this almost feels like the finale of this current iteration of Team Liquid Honda Academy, I mean, what more can this roster accomplish than they've already done? Back-to-back Proving Grounds winners. So looking back at your time, your development, how does it feel to know that you're now at the top of the developmental ladder and there's only one more step for you to go?
Feels good, but the only thing is to make sure I don't get overconfident in myself. I played against the top players in Korea when I was boot camping, and the top is very insane. And there's another thing I want to add, actually. I think it's important for the public to realize that all the rookies that come in, it's important not to shower them with undeserved praise, which I think I got undeserved praise as well. I think most of the upcoming super rookies that you guys say will like save NA, not including EG. EG is like pretty good, so I think those rookies deserved it for sure. But I think sometimes it's undeserved and they get overconfident, even though they haven't seen the world yet. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, here's to you not being overhyped, Jan. We think you got it in you. With that said, it's now time for the amulet awarding ceremony. So we'll welcome Matt Nausha to the stage.
All right, the players all on the stage there. You see our commissioner, Matt Nausha, with the top laner, Bradley. The role swap from mid to top lane. Impressive player with how he's performed this entire split.
Yeah, he was playing on Bethany Lutheran as a mid laner with Wildcard Red. And as Armchair continues to showcase, we get to see all of their players continue to have more success. And, well, Jan had a bit of a sobering message for us. We do have bright expectations for all of them.
I also love, seeing Harry, see how happy he was winning this final. After the last final, crying on stage, felt like his teammates carried him. This time, he was fantastic in the series.
Speaking of fantastic, Jan, I do like that he says don't put too much undeserved praise just because he wants to make sure he has that career path for him. Same with Ayla.
Yeah, Ayla's been one of my favorite players to watch ever since he came to North America. Seeing that he's finding yet more success without losing anything throughout his time here is going to be giving him a lot of exciting futures. We know Core JJ said he was the second best in NA. We'll see what he can do next.
Now, let's send it back down to Kangas with the winning team. And guys, we'll see you later. It's been a great 2022.
Thank you very much, casters. One more round of applause for Team Liquid Honda Academy. Now, do we have mics for you? Can we get mics for the players up on stage here so we can hear from them? Awesome. We got mics coming up for you. I know that we got to let you rest your necks quickly here because those are probably heavy, right, Bradley?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, a little heavy around the neck. Bradley, I want to start with you because obviously in spring it was already impressive that a rookie role swap from mid playing an amateur and collegiate. Now, first split in academy wins PG, second PG title under your belt, and you have been getting so much praise from your peers in the top lane. Everyone's saying Bradley has been nothing but impressive in his improvement, in his laning, in his decision making. So I want to get your reflection on the year. You know, how do you feel about your own development and how far you've come from this point last year?
I would say my development has been pretty good, to say the least. But I do think it is somewhat fair to say, kind of what Jan was saying, I do think sometimes like the newer praise is a bit overhyped because, you know, definitely one to say like maybe if I role swapped onto a different team, I wouldn't have had this much success. But nonetheless, you know, it still happened. I do think I've shown pretty good growth. So, you know, I'm happy to all these guys who's helped me along the way. And yeah, as far as like my peers, you know, congratulating me, it feels really good to have them, you know, acknowledge me and that kind of thing. So yeah, feels good.
Congratulations on another title. I want to go all the way back down to the other end now. Ayla, I know you usually go down, but I'm curious your thoughts here as a player who's gotten experience in multiple levels of play from Oceania to North America. And you've been with Jan your entire time here. You've seen him grow from, you know, fledgling 80 carry coming out of amateur till now. So I want first your thoughts on your duo lane partner.
I think Jan's amazing. I couldn't have asked for a better ADC to work with for the past 2 years. Being really happy. I think we work really well together. It's like kind of crazy how well we synergize. We're very close in-game, out of game. So I'm really happy to have worked with him. And to be honest, at times, I think about the future and if I will be playing against him. And I know if I do end up versing him, he's going to be a really tough opponent.
You might have to go against him at some point, but it was mentioned before, it feels like this could be a graduation ceremony in a way for much of Team Liquid Honda Academy. So this is your pitch. What LCS org should be looking to pick up the Jan Ayla duo?
Any top LCS org, if you want to win, we're going to shit on every other bot lane. We are going to be really, really insane. So just watch out for us.
Watch out for Jan and Ayla, everybody. Armeo, you're up next, man. The general in the jungle for Team Liquid Honda Academy. I was going to start off this question asking, is Team Liquid Honda Academy the best academy team of all time? But I don't even think we need to ask that question. So I'm going to say, why is Team Liquid Honda Academy the best academy team that we have ever seen in the ecosystem?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, obviously the coach. I mean, I think just overall we're just a really cohesive unit, but also we have just insane individual players, probably like the best individual players to all be on an academy team, as you can kind of see from how much we've won, and like the most players who can, like I think all of us can jump into the LCS level, which I can't remember all the academy teams, but it's obviously a rare thing when you have such like a strong combination of players. And I do think we work very well together as well, which makes us even stronger. But yeah, I can't remember any other academy teams really competing with how skilled this roster is.
I'd have to say I agree. 2-star general now, by the way. Congratulations. So that's the players. Let's send it down to the coach, the man that wrangles them all together in Spawn here. Hell of a year. You came in 2021 spring with a 10th place finish and then 3 finals appearances with 2 titles. Talk to me about that journey.
Yeah, I think, first of all, like not to get too salty about it, but I think that first Proving Grounds was kind of overblown. We finished first regular season, equal first, and then we went on to Northern Arena, which was playoffs back then. Cloud9 didn't even want to play us, so they just skipped the whole tournament, and then we won that. We went into Proving Grounds, we had one bad tournament. You know, that's one bad tournament we had as a team. We went on to win, you know, split 2 finals. Then 2 of our players went over to support the team at Worlds, and we were still able to come a second with 2 subs. And then this year, obviously, going back-to-back was really good. But, you know, after split 1, I was kind of confused. You look around, and none of the players get picked up. So I thought, you know, what went wrong? And it's like, oh, how do we know that Bradley's better than Dokla? We didn't get to see them play in Proving Grounds. You know, how do we get to know that Armchair is better than Kenvi? We didn't get to see them really play all that much in Proving Grounds. So I thought, you know what we should do? We should go down to the lower bracket. We should have to play every single team as many times as we want to play them, and we should prove to everyone that we're undisputed the best team in Academy. And I'm really happy because, you know, this team has showed everything that a coach would want a team to show. When we've been down, we've rallied really well. When people have played well, We've supported them throughout every role. I was in Australia for the first 2 months of this split. Online coaching is never easy, and they made it an absolute joy. So I just want to say, you know, for 4 of them, it's been 2 years. For 1 of them, it's only been a year, but it's been an absolute honor to be able to coach like such willing pupils. And I hope that now it's without a doubt that these guys are, you know, LCS ready talent.
Calculated losses. Calculated losses. Do you have any final farewell messages for your players if this is the final time you'll be coaching them?
Yeah, I kind of said it when we were on stage together, but, you know, live in the moment. Don't worry about what next year looks like right now. Enjoy this. You deserve the win. You know, and I think that overall, this has been a really competitive split. I think if you look at teams like Dignitas, you look at teams like Cloud9 Academy, anyone on their day could have won it. It happened to be us, so stay humble, as they all are. But also, you know, just know that I'm excited to kind of see what happens next year.
Congratulations to everybody on stage. A final round of applause to Team Liquid Honda Academy for that fantastic win. And with that said, we'll throw it back over to the desk to close out the day.
Hello, surprise! I'm subbing in again. You thought you were done with me, but little did you know that I'm always here. So, to wrap up the day, let's get your opinions on how the series went. So, Serdi, why don't you start us off?
Oh, went exactly how I thought. I called
yeah,
it.
you did predict it, 3-1.
Game, I called exactly how the games would play out, what Dig needed to take that game. They didn't do it in the last one, so they didn't get their win.
Yeah, I thought for the most part, you know, people on Dignitas can definitely go away, you know, not too unhappy with their performances. I think they had a good amount to show. Unfortunately, you know, Harry just kind of came in like a bulldozer today. He had like three amazing games, and he played.
I think he died twice.
Yeah, something like that. He had an insane series. So, you know, definitely unfortunate for the Dig boys, but you know, good showing from them, and also really solid showing from TL as well.
Yeah, it was great from both sides. Where Dignitas, that great performance through the winners bracket, getting them all the way there, and then Team Liquid getting knocked down by Dignitas, beating them in the finals after they made their gauntlet run. Very impressive stuff coming in from all of them. And so let's talk about the entirety of Proving Grounds itself and what it means to a player to win, especially back-to-back titles. What would that mean to you guys?
I'll start. I mean, well, we spoke earlier in the day, like Proving Grounds is basically like 400 games. 400 games a season for each player. And essentially, you know, like we're practicing, scrimming every single day to try to get this trophy. And obviously, like these guys work just as hard as everyone else, and probably even harder because they, you know, they got the trophy. So I mean, I'm sure it means a lot to them. And yeah, I'm sure they're really happy to be able to, you know, end the season off on a win.
Yeah, no, I think it would be an unparalleled high and a massive confidence boost. Like, this is something you can look back on when you are having tough times and say, I did this, I am good, I deserve this, I am doing well.
Oh, look at the boys back on the stage. More confetti, more confetti. I mean, might as well get twice the confetti since they got twice the victories, twice the titles. I mean, I'm still blown away by that series. But the second game, a really close game. Third game was quite crazy that Dignitas were able to find that victory. And then looking at, you know, how Team Liquid, that fourth game, I thought it was going to be a much closer series at that point. Games 2 and 3 were so close.
Yeah, no, I agree. I thought it would be a little bit closer. I didn't think they just completely steamrolled them like that. But the second that I saw them locking the Callista again, I knew how it would go. I knew exactly how it would go. The only team in Academy who can pull off a draft like that is EGA.
Yeah, well.
The Lissandra Callista.
That is true. That is true. That is definitely your guys' specialty there. But, I mean, look at that. Jan getting the piggyback from Bradley. I love it. Those amulets are really cool, too.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I love
it. Okay, I'm getting my own amulet, too. Icon in game. Gonna look wonderful on me.
I thought you were gonna say next split.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna say that too.
Yeah,
I mean, well, the amulet next split's going to TSM, so.
Oh yeah, totally.
I like it. Or maybe you two face off against each other in the finals, and then we're talking about you then. And
that'd be a good narrative.
It would be. I'd totally bring this back up. I'd just roll this clip over and over again. It would be great. I mean, it's funny being on the caster side of things. You know, I just get to watch everyone have fun, enjoy themselves. But it's great being a part of that moment. Just seeing all these players, like seeing you guys perform well too. And that's why it's fun to have a desk like this where I can talk to you guys and be able to.
I mean, Magical, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is your first year working with Academy, right?
It is not, actually.
It's not?
I go all the way back to Cloud9 Academy, back when the teams had them.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I got quite the distance on it.
Wow.
I know, it just, more that I'm loud and I try to stand out. I get to stand out more. Thanks to our amazing producer, Kelsey.
Of course, she's done a great job.
All right, but there are the players making some confetti angels. Is that what
As you should.
Yeah.
Is that
the
what
confetti angels, they're leaving their mark on the LCS stage.
But they're just going to sweep it up later. I mean, I'm just being honest. Okay, now they're having a confetti ball fight. So this is unseen before and unprecedented in modern times, mostly because I've never seen it before. You guys are just not sure what to say. It's okay. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, you're fine. I'm just kind of commentating on this, just looking at them, seeing the victory, and seeing how everything's going to go. What kind of futures do you think these players are going to have? Like, we already kind of talked about it a bit on the desk, and Jan actually had a great statement talking about not over-emphasizing players.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the narrative that was built around TL Honda with them being like a top 6 LCS team is not true. I don't think that they would be if they were put in LCS. I think that they do have very strong individual parts, but as I see the team right now, I don't think that they would place that highly. I think that all of them have very bright futures going on. I think that they all deserve a shot in LCS in one way or another to be able to prove themselves, but
yeah, you know, that's fair.
I think that they still do have to prove themselves. They've gone through proving grounds, but that's the big leagues.
Magical, I don't want to be awkward, but you're kind of in my seat.
I didn't see your name on it.
It's right there.
Crap.
All right, come on. Thanks for keeping it warm for me, buddy.
All right. Yeah. Have fun.
Thank you, Magical.
Thank you,
all
Magical.
Right. It's a long run from the stage. It took a while, but fun to see them celebrating on there, of course. And the confetti was a big addition, nice touch for all the players. But thank you to the two of you, of course, for coming on to close out the broadcast with us. The final day, it was incredible. So first off, I want to, this is your shill moment, you know, as we see a couple more footage of the players up on stage here. Year of review, how do you feel about Proving Grounds and the overall development of 2022?
For myself personally, or like for the
yourself and the scene? You know, you've been participating in it now for a while.
Well, I mean, I'm always super excited about the growth of Armchair and Academy. I think that Riot's doing a really good job growing the ecosystem, and I'm really, really glad to be a part of it. As for myself, you know, I wish we could have made a further Proving Grounds run with TSM, but given all the struggles and the roster swaps that we've had, I'm happy with my own individual growth, and I'm also proud of my teammates for how far they've come. So overall, a happy year, I'd say.
It was really fun seeing your glow up in the summer. Serdi, same with you. Year in review, if you're looking at everything from a player perspective, how do you feel about Tier 2 League of Legends in 2022? Because this is the end of an entire calendar year.
I mean, in general, I think that Riot's done a really good job. I think there's a ton of talent in Academy, and I think that a lot of the positions are very interchangeable between the top players in Academy and the bottom players in LCS. I can only really speak for top lane, but I think bottom forward and top lane in LCS and top 4 in Academy, literally interchangeable.
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter who's in which spot.
I feel like that's what you want from a system.
That is exactly what you want from a system.
Yeah, you want overlap because you want players to have that opportunity to grow on LCS teams. But you also, I love seeing players still like Armchair, like Darshan's in Academy, where they have this wealth of experience because it forces players at the Academy level to grow and learn when playing against them.
Yeah, I think it's extremely important to not just have rookies in Academy because they need foundation to grow around, or else they will not grow properly. You've seen plenty of teams bring up 4 or 5 rookies at a time and they just completely flop, even though some of the pieces can be individually talented. You need the veterans there to nurture them.
Yeah. As a final year in review, I know that I'm starting to get emotional right now, so we might have to wrap up here soon. But again, I just appreciate you two being on the broadcast with us. And also for all the effort that you two put into your years. I hope that we see more of you. I would love to welcome everybody else on here in a minute, actually, because we actually have to wrap up here with the Samsung Fast 5. One more further road. I know, everyone's on standby. We're excited for this. But first, we got our Samsung SSD Fast 5 to close out all of Finals Week Proving Grounds. So the way that this works, is we have the stats from Proving Grounds just this week, and we got to highlight some of the coolest plays that we saw so far. I know it's kind of small on our screens right now, but you know, Soul, what's popping out to you?
For me, I think the biggest one has to be Busio's fastest item transformation as support. I mean, he's like a solid, like 10 seconds above JJ, or 13 seconds above second place. And
Got to be an enchanter, right?
Yeah, and tenacity as well. 100 CS, he's like a whole like 20 seconds up, which is basically like an extra wave. So yeah, impressive stuff.
Yeah, it's cool, of course, to see how players play it against each other in Proving Grounds. I wish we could see like a whole split worth of these stats, because then you get like the really crazy swings. But honestly, when I look at a lot of these, they're close to each other, and that makes me feel like the competition was that close.
Yeah, I mean, most of them were very close. The competition was obviously really healthy within this Proving Grounds. And I think that means Riot's done a great job.
It means that the system theoretically is working, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't have 5-game series at all. Team Liquid actually made it through in all 3 ones, which is kind of a new achievement in and of itself. So kind of more props to them. But with that said, I can't believe that the season has already come to a close. So let's welcome everybody in that participated in the broadcast, because we could not make all of this work without everybody here on screen. But more importantly, all of the people behind the scenes in production. Special shout out to Kelsey Moser for wrangling all of us and keeping us in line. Also, thank you to everybody in Twitch chat for cheering on your favorite players the entire time. And most importantly, to the players for giving us this show. We wouldn't have all this if it weren't for all of you. Chasing that dream of LCS. We will see you back in 2023 for another year of Proving Grounds. Till then.
They got twice the victories, twice the titles.